Streaming live on YouTube. That's what the screen says. So, hey, folks, it is Kurt, your host of the Mañana morning check-in. It is Sunday, January 3rd, 2021. I realize I normally just do this on weekdays, but I felt really compelled, especially with the holidays and with the trip I took last week, to just kind of check in a little earlier. And apparently YouTube's working. It's telling me that I'm online with you guys. And I just wanted to check in, and I really want to focus on positive, inspirational things moving forward in 2021. Hey, come here, baby. Come on. We got a new pup in the house. She's kind of fun. She's Koa, come here. You want to be on TV? So anyway, I've got Koa with me here in the workstation, and we're just kind of hanging out. And I really felt compelled to just reach out and be like, A, Happy New Year. B, I am so tired of seeing all this stuff online about, well, what a miserable year 2020 was. Let's move forward to 2021. And I felt like, no, in the midst of obstacles, we found opportunities. In the midst of chaos and misinformation, and no matter what side you're on, there is just mayhem. And out of that, if you can focus and you can keep your brain on something positive and find inspiration somewhere, you can come out the other side of this thing. And so moving forward to start the new year, I have upped my game quite a bit on the email list. Now, I still have the podcast and I still have other things going on, but I wanted to jump out, and this account is for the Power Sport Academy, the one that I'm talking on now. So the Power Sport Academy is still moving along. It's still got clients in there. We're still working with dealerships. However, I'm very pleased to announce that going into this new year, I will be working with BRP as what we call a quality service coach. And I'm super, super excited about the project because we're able to take a lot of what I've been doing with the Power Sport Academy and apply it to the BRP dealerships that I'll be assigned to help them grow their parts and labor business, help with their customer satisfaction, grow their efficiency, productivity, and of course, with those things comes profit. And we are so looking forward to making this happen. I'm stoked. Other people on the team are stoked. And it is going to be something absolutely awesome. So when I say I'm looking forward to inspiration, when I say I'm looking forward to, positivity and opportunity, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Here we have a major OEM in the market that's willing to hire somebody like me, basically a very small corporate trainer that really specializes in working with fixed operations in the power sports world. And they were able to go, hey, we want you to come and do this for us. And so I'm super stoked to be added to the team to make this happen. And it's just another example of being positive and making things happen and moving things along. The other thing is Mañana no Más. Mañana no Más is still active, still going. And the email list I was talking about just earlier, the email list is pretty phenomenal because I have upped the ante on publishing inspirational, good, positive content. If you are already on the email list, you'll be getting an email tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. You'll be getting an email Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Now, I'm not going to commit to a daily deal here, but what I want to say is that as we kick off the new year, I want to give you a much more frequent look at something that's positive and inspirational. The first two are centered on overcoming fear and taking action. And once you begin to take action and take those first steps and build momentum, it becomes a fever inside of you and you begin to pursue excellence. It'll happen. Trust me. I've seen this. I've experienced it myself. And I beg you to give this a shot if it's something that you're not already doing. So we've got that going. And then we've got that new product I've been talking about that we're going to launch online. The soft launch is working well. The product, the cool part is, I haven't had anybody report any problems to me with the product yet, which is good and bad, right? When you do the soft launch, you want problems to happen so you can fix them and get things ready for a much bigger market in a hard launch. However, I put a lot of time and effort into developing this thing in the first place, and it's working really well. So that's cool stuff. Now, when we release this in, it looks like we're going to be on time to release this in February. I'm super, super stoked for all of those people that are using Facebook type tools to inspire their groups. This will be a way that you can inspire those groups on your own channel and keep things very much to yourself, right? Which is, when I say that, it sounds negative that way, but it's a positive because you'll be growing your thing instead of growing someone else's thing. And so I'm very, very excited to release this. Super, super stoked. In fact, as the new year started, I kept seeing all these things popping up online and I'm like, they could use my product. They could use my product. They could use my product. And I didn't want to rush the process. So folks, stay tuned. Things are going to shape up. 2021's got a lot of irons in the fire for me. I pray that you've got a lot of irons in the fire for yourself. Call it, baby. It's okay. Come on over. Come on over. Come here. And so as we launch and as I go online on an off day, hitting you up on a Sunday, I just wanted to really put it out there. Like, not just because it's a new year, not just because the calendar flipped a page, not just because, some weird date happened and, everybody said, oh, new year, new me. I'm not really into that. People that know me know that I'm not really into that. I'm into consistent, persistent work and growth. And if you've watched me over the last year, I've been very public about the process. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and I pray the same for you. A great acquaintance of mine, Tim Morgan. Hey, hush. He runs a company called Giver Marketing, fantastic organization full of marketing professionals. And he encouraged me to embrace the idea that, I'm a business consultant, right? Too many times you find yourself being super specific. Like, I have a lot of success in the power sports industry. I have some success in the fitness industry and weight loss industry. I have some success in public speaking and in working with youth, especially. And what happens is if you're not careful, you get pigeonholed into hey, he's a youth speaker, or, he only helps people lose weight. He's not really into like triathletes or motorcycle road racers or things like that. And I didn't want to pigeonhole myself, but I didn't want to be like a, one man fix it either. So I was having some issues with my personal branding. And Tim was sweet enough to go, dude, you're a business consultant that leverages technology to help people with efficiency and productivity, And you know what? He's absolutely right. That's exactly what I do. And so I'm really embracing that new definition of self and moving forward and continuing. This year, I'm writing in the book, right? Last year, I didn't write in the book, but this year, I'm writing in the book. And as I go through my John Maxwell material on a leader's heart, I go ahead and I put the notes in and I have something to look back on to know what my thoughts were. And then I still have my 5-minute journal that I'm doing every day. And that helps me to start out with a positive thought in the morning and a positive thought at night before I go to sleep. And that to me is a game changer. To focus less on distractions and negativity and to focus more on positivity and opportunity. That is my message today. And I've already said it 3-4 times. I hope I'm getting through. The other thing that is super, super interesting is, and people might think I'm crazy, but I pay my kids to read. Even through being unemployed, I thought it was super, super important to not forget about the kids and to make sure that I'm developing my kids with a curriculum that I want them to be proficient in. It's all right, baby. We're almost done. I'll get you in, right? And so my daughter's read some work from John Maxwell. She's read stuff from Stephen Covey. She has, she's soaked up the stuff on John Maxwell. She really liked it. She didn't like it at first, right? And then all of a sudden she perked an interest. And then she's like, can I read some more of those books? Yeah, absolutely. And I pay them $20 to read a full book, write a small report, and then have a verbal interview with me, right? Because I want to make sure that they understand the text and that we flush out questions and stuff. Well, her next book is the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover. Now, shout out to Andrew Oakes, Andrew S. Oakes, who is a stress coach and who is fantastic at what he does. This was a book that helped him change his life. If you heard his story, or if you want to hear his story, you can go to one of the first podcasts I ever made. I think he was the first interview podcast that I did on the Mañana podcast. And the Total Money Makeover was a book that changed his life. And, as I'm making a lot of decisions as the person that runs my home and the breadwinner here, I wanted my family to understand where some of the methodologies come from, or why I'm so stringent about this money goes here, this money goes here, this money goes, because we see things. Like my daughter will see a new pair of ice skates. She wants them. My son wants a new gaming computer, right? I want a new mountain bike. I mean, there's all these things, right? And we can get sucked into this consumerism and drug down this hole if we're not careful. And the Total Money Makeover is a really great example of a lot of my goal setting courses in the Mañana No Mas Academy. It's like, hey, do this, see some positive, take a step, see positivity, go forward. Take another step, see positivity, go forward. And as you see these positive steps, hey baby, you want to come up and say hi to everybody? It's good to see you. She's a sweetheart. She really is. She's some kind of like a Rhodesian Ridgeback or something like that. She's awesome. But as people see this positive motion, they get inspired by the momentum, and it picks up faster and faster and faster. And my daughter's 16. If I can inspire her about the proper ways to treat money, think of how far ahead of the game she is compared to me, right? I didn't get a grasp on the proper way to handle money until I was in my 40s, right? Which is so weird because I helped other businesses all this time make money. Like, okay, you need someone to sell something, I'll sell it. You need me to sell service, I'll do it. You need me to run your books, I'll run your books. You need me to do accounts payable, accounts receivable, I can do it. And I was good at it. So then why was my personal finance such a mess? And I'll submit to you that my personal finance was a mess, because I was kind of a workaholic when I was younger. And I focused so hard on making my employer's money that I didn't focus on myself, right? So that's one. The other thing is I allowed myself to fall prey to a lot of misinformation. Now we hear misinformation a lot, right? With the fact checkers and all this stuff. But here's the dealio. And this is me personally, right? I allowed myself to think, oh, well, 6% on a car loan's not bad. I'll go ahead and do that. How much money do I make? I can afford that payment. I can afford that. I want that new car. I want to live in this apartment. I want access to the apartment that has the gym, the spa, the movie theater, and all the other stuff. And when you do that, when you live at or slightly above your means, you put yourself in a really negative position. And I've done that on multiple occasions throughout life. And then to dig out of those holes always feels like, well, it's like losing a bunch of weight, right? Like when you realize that you've gained a bunch of weight and you have to lose it, right? You have to work so hard to lose it. You don't have to work hard to gain the weight, but you sure got to work hard to lose it, right? Well, the same with finances. And hey, shh, you're making way too much noise, baby, way too much noise. And so by reading the Dave Ramsey book and applying the techniques that are in there, the Total Money Makeover gives you a whole different outlook on your finances and how to get ahead and what your definition of success is. And if I can give my kids that kind of inspiration to step out into this world when they leave my house, that's the kind of influence I want to have moving forward. So picture this, my daughter's 16. And she's going to be hitting society with the knowledge and the philosophies of John Maxwell, the knowledge and philosophies of maybe Tony Robbins, maybe Grant Cardone, maybe the communication skills of some of these people, right? Wrapped up into this young person. Plus she's going to have, some abilities from high school, right? She's going to have the math and the Spanish and the English and the science, and she's going to have that stuff, but she's going to have the stuff that school doesn't teach. And quite honestly, I believe omits on purpose, because the more school can train us to be good followers, the more that school can teach us to be good followers, the more we empower people that appoint themselves as leaders to do what they want. And so I want to raise self-thinking, self-sufficient, really smart people to put into this world. And we're off on a good track. Now, to you, you might think paying them $20 a book is crazy. To me, I don't pay my kids an allowance to hang out and play video games or things like that, right? Like, you live here, clean the dishes, right? That's kind of our house. But I do pay them to read these books because I want to make sure that I inspire them to find the greatness that's within them. So this has been a longer message than I anticipated. I want you guys to have a great year. That's it, bar none. I felt inspired to jump on today and talk to you about that. And I also want to inspire you that if you are not yet on that mail list to get these inspirational messages that are popping out, go to the mañananomas.com website. When you go to mañananomas.com, it'll at the top it says Academy. Click on Academy, and right on that homepage to the Academy is a link to sign up for the newsletter. Go ahead and sign up for that, and you'll start getting those inspirational messages. Now, my intention as I grow this library of intentional messages is to start tagging those and then to build segments of the mail list, right? So that you will have more control over the type of content you receive. I'm going to put out a lot of stuff on goal setting, leadership, a little bit on fitness and nutrition. As if you followed me, then you already know that I'm really big on physical fitness leads to fiscal fitness, right? If you're a healthy person physically, you're more able to pursue success and fiscal rewards, right? And so I'm really big on that. So there'll be some content coming on that. And my main thing is just to stay positive. And I'm not saying to stay stupid. I'm not saying don't look at the news or don't look up stuff on DuckDuckGo or don't, wonder if that conspiracy theory is true or not. I'm not telling you to stay stupid, right? But what I am saying is don't let that stuff as a distraction consume you from the positivity and the inspiration that is waiting for you to be your best. All right. Hey, I say it all the time. I know it's corny, but I'm going to say it again. I love you. I really do. I put the effort into making these messages because I love helping folks. I love adding value to people. And the more that I can find these tools to do this with you, the more I will. Your comments, your feedback mean the world to me. I put out a newsletter message on New Year's, and I know that the list is working now, right? Because people in digital marketing, they'll tell you this. They'll say, oh, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. It takes a long time. And then you're doing it and you're like, oh man, this isn't doing anything. I feel like I'm wasting my time. And it's not about making money, right? Because I'm not charging people for the information, but you just want to make an impact. And then when I sent something out on Christmas, I got some feedback. When I sent something out on New Year's, I got some feedback. And I was like, man, all that work, all that time, all that energy, it's finally paying off. And I'm finally starting to see that I can have a positive impact on people. And that's the goal, right? As I went through the John Maxwell training, their catchphrase is adding value to others. And so my goal is to do that. And if you feel like these messages are adding value to you, or you'd like to participate at some level, go ahead, reach out to me, hit the contact link on the mañananomas.com website. And man, I'll plug you into different parts of the community. All right. Have yourself an awesome year. And I will see you guys in your email, on your podcasts, and in social.